Pozdrav ljudi, ovo je video o svim najpoznatijim irskim izrazima, podijelio sam ga u 3 dijela, tako da ako još niste, pogledajte i druga 2 nakon ovog videa.
Fair play, Brendan.
Yeah, cheers, man. Fair play means, well done, good job, good thinking. Fair play, what would be a context for that?
I see it in commercials on ads that are popping up before my YouTube videos, like I don't know, someone's kind of patting themselves on the back, like we recruited 50 new people, fair play to XY company.
Yes, it basically means job well done, or good idea. Like the example I was thinking of there was like, say your boss asks you to do something. I don't know why so many of these are workplace related, but whatever. Your boss asks you to do something and you do that, but also recognize something else that would need to be done in concert with that. And you come and tell them that you've done what you're supposed to do and you've done the extra thing. And they go, fair play. Well done, Borna.
Play is usually related to games. Do people use it in, like, when they're watching a football match, and then do they use it in like, fair play for
not
a player?
Really.
No.
No,
So it's
not
just,
really. Yeah.
Okay.
It just means well executed, good thinking, good idea.
Like an affirmation. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, znači, fair play, iako zvuči play kao da se odnosi na nekakvu igru, zapravo se odnosi na to da se potvrdi nekome da je nešto dobro odradio. Tipa, ovaj primjer kojeg je Brendan dao je na poslu će te šef tražiti nešto da napraviš i ti vidiš još jednu stvar koja se može napraviti i onda mu poslije kažeš napravio sam i ovo i onda on dođe i kaže fair play, kao super si to odradio. Okay, got it. I like fair play, it sounds great. And a similar one to that also feels good when you hear it is good man.
Yeah, good man. Good man yourself. If you really want to hammer it home, good man yourself. Well done. Good man yourself. It's very similar to fair play. Slightly more awkward to say it to a woman. Good woman, it just doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well. And good girl, it sounds very, very, very condescending.
Or not but condescending, maybe a little bit wrong even. If in the wrong context, all right?
But yeah, good man, it's just another affirmation. Just means well done, good job. Thank you as well, it can mean. Here's that thing you asked for. Good man, cheers.
Okay.
And Irish people tend to add redundancy to statements like that. Like the way I just did there without even thinking about it. Slap on the back, good man, cheers. You add another affirmation or another thank you. Not sure why we do it. I think it's a nervous thing.
Ok, cool. Znači, good man je sličan fair playu, jer isto na neki način kažete nekome da dobro odradio nešto, može biti i kao zahvala, kao hvala ti što si mi to dodao, ali teško je reći to nekome ženskog roda, zato što riječ man je za muško, pa bi se onda nešto drugo koristilo u tom slučaju, ali generalno možete nekome reći kao good man ako je nešto dobro odradio. Ok, cool. Now I have one that kind of confused me when I heard it first, and it was gas. And I didn't know, was it good, was it bad? And I heard people use it in a whole slew of like conversations and for different things. And I was always confused, like, was that good or bad? And especially when people say it with a neutral tone, it was gas. And then I'm like, what is it? What is it?
Borna, you're a gas man. You're a gas man. Which doesn't mean that you're employed by the national heating company. No, your gas, I guess, comes from laughing gas. And it just means funny. Gas is something very funny. How was the comedy show last night? It was gas. It is simply a short way of saying that things were funny. And another thing is, if something is surprising in an interesting way, if somebody says something happened that was unexpected, but maybe you thought you relate it back to something, you could say, that's gas. In exactly the same way as you'd say, that's funny because X, Y, Z. So yeah, gas. Okay. Gas man. Gas man. He's a funny person.
Okay. Znači, gas, ja sam prvo mislio da se odnosi na plinove i pogotovo jer su ljudi to govorili sa neutralnim tonom, bilo mi jako teško skužiti da li misle da je nešto dobro ili je loše, jer su koristili tu riječ kao išli smo van i and it was gas, kao i bilo je plin, jel? Sad nisam znao da li je to dobro ili loše, ali Brendan kaže da je to zapravo vezano za dobru, zabavnu, pozitivnu stvar koja se dogodila ili nešto je kao gas, kao funny, kao zabavno i obično se koristi u dobrom smislu.
I like hearing your translations because I'm imagining that you're saying stuff like, so it sounds like they're saying it was vapor.
That's exactly what I said. I said you would think that it's a gas because of the fumes and everything, but it's not. Funny how it works because I'm thinking back to myself, how does creation sound when someone on a English language matrix hears it? And when I said, on je to dobro odradio, I thought, did he think that somebody was listening to a radio?
Well, I did when you said it just now, yeah.
The radio part is actually without the accent. It sounds radio. It's like working or did it or how he has done it. Like your man's done it good, you know, like on je to dobro odradio, you know.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to hear all the Croatian just for little amusing false friends like that.
Yeah, it's hard to get an opportunity to hear Croatian anyway, right?
Yeah,
because, everything's in English, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
What's next?
Next, shifting.
Okay, so maybe you want to go down the pub, find some young ones and shift the face off them.
So Brendan, what were the young ones doing with the lads when they were shifting?
Yeah, it's not a form of plastic surgery, facial removal or anything like that. I did wait until you're trying to say that. So yeah, shifting is kissing, French kissing. Typically drunken, messy French kissing. The kind that you look at from afar and go, ugh. And
you need a few more pints to be able to do that.
yeah. So shifting, there's a couple of other like regional variations where they substitute other words. In Dublin, it's meeting, and just the most. I don't know. I don't like the use of the word meet in that context. I was on a train one time, and a bunch of girls came over to me, and one of them says, "Here, will you meet our friend?" And I'm like, "Are we not meeting now?" It's like this is a meeting. No, will you meet her? Oh, no, I'm uncomfortable. Okay. But shifting, having a kiss, having a snog.
And it's not related to cars in any way, right?
No.
Okay, no, but thankfully. You guys do say shifting gears when you're shifting gears in a car.
I think that's more an American thing. We would say changing gears.
Changing gears, okay, cool, yeah, got it. Znači, shifting je vezan zapravo za ljubljenje nekoga u klubu, recimo. Kod nas u Zagrebu znam da postoji izraz zbarit nekog. Brendan, the creation word, like that's a slang word for it, will be zbarit. So,
zbarit.
Sounds strange, but it's a cool word. And i nije povezano sa mijenjanjem brzina. Kaže Brendan da je shifting više američki izraz za mijenjanje brzina, a oni više govore changing gears rather than shifting gears. So, all right, we got that one out of the way.
There's a great pop culture usage of shift in that context in the Rubber Bandits song Horse Outside, which is really catchy and full of Irish slang. So if you want to laugh, search for Horse Outside on YouTube after you watch this.
Okay, we'll leave the link down below in the show notes.
Cool.
I heard the word, well, I basically know what it means, but with the accent, like you sometimes don't hear it in the sentence. It was rotten.
Oh, yeah. Rotten. Rotten is like it's the word rotten. It means putrid, but it has been sort of slangified in Kerry in particular to mean disgusting or
bad.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's more the usage and the way it's used in Kerry, and it's hard to define what's different about it, but it's so popular. It's unusually popular here to describe things that cause disgust as rotten. Why didn't you go to that pub last night with us? I've been there before. It's rotten. It's rotten. Like I wouldn't go in there. I wouldn't bring my worst enemy in there.
So it doesn't mean that the pub is rotting, that the building
Indeed.
is in a bad physical condition. It's more
Indeed.
that somebody doesn't like something, right?
Yes, exactly. And it's something that causes disgust, but isn't necessarily in a state of degradation.
Yeah, okay, cool. Znači, rotten je točno to što riječ kaže, onako pokvareno, trune, jel? Ali ne mora značiti ovo, recimo što je Brendan rekao, da ako neko nije išao u pub jer mu je tamo rotten, ne znači da se pub raspada, nego da jednostavno toj osobi se to ne sviđa i da joj se to gadi. I to je bila riječ koja se dosta često tu u Kerryu koristi, dosta je popularna trenutno i ljudi to govore vezano za svašta. For instance, I heard a lot of people say, oh, the weather's rotten. It's hard for the rain to be rotten, but it basically symbolizes that the weather is really bad.
Yeah. Or I heard your mom got COVID. How's she feeling? Rotten.
Rotten. Yeah, got it. All right, cool. Something more on the positive side. We have the word class. Can you explain that and where it's used?
Yeah, so class, it just means that something is really, really good. High class, I guess, is where it came from. Yeah. Classy or high class. But yeah, it can be used as an affirmation or an agreement. So like, we go to the cinema this evening, see the new James Bond film. Oh yeah, class. So that means agreed. Or what's your new phone like? Oh man, it's class. It has so many features. It's yeah, just altogether good.
But it can also be used as like, as you said, that something is high class when you say that it's class, right? Like, have you been to the new cafe? How was it? Like, oh, it was class, you know?
Pretty class,
does it have the like a fancy connotation to it as well, or is it just like,
so.
Oh, it was good?
Yeah, it like when I first started hearing it, pretty much everybody says it these days. When I first started hearing it back in the 90s in Dublin, it was definitely a lower class phrase, and it kind of trickled up from there. So it doesn't necessarily have fancy connotations at all. Okay,
cool. My first association was like a classroom, you know, like the class of 1995, you know, something like that. But okay.
Or a class bunch of lads.
Yeah. How do I translate it? All right, so znači, klas je povezano sa vjerojatno we'll cut this part out. Ta riječ je vjerojatno povezana sa onim izrazom kao high class, gdje je nešto kao stvarno super i od tud je vjerojatno došla, a koriste se za to da neko kaže da je nešto zapravo stvarno dobro ili da je ok ili da uživa u tome. I primjer kojeg je on dao je da ako kupio sam novi telefon i stvarno je class, znači stvarno je dobar, obično to ljudi kažu da bi rekli da je nešto stvarno ok, da su zadovoljni s time. Okay, cool. Now we have a food and drinks category, Brendan. Can you explain what are chips?
Yeah, chips. Chips are pieces of potato that have been cooked. I don't think that narrows it down enough, does it?
Why? Because usually in Croatia, just as a reference, we use chips for, as you call them, potatoes. So,
well, I call them crisps. People in Kerry call them potatoes.
Okay. So, like, there's a big potato culture in whole potato story in Ireland, and
indeed.
So, what's the difference where? So
chips in Ireland, chips are French fries. Particularly
so when you order them in a restaurant, when you order chips in a restaurant, you get them with your burger, right? And with your fish and chips.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and chips, as opposed to French fries, you kind of think of those McDonald's thin fries. Chips are thick. And so that's a vague distinction. You would refer to the McDonald's French fries as chips, but still, chips is not crisps. Crisps are potato chips, as Americans would call them, the thin fried potato crisps. And that's the blanket term for us for all of those kinds of products. And then Tato is a brand name, and it's a brand name that I think probably, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that they created these the cheese and onion flavor of potato crisp, and that it spread to the rest of the world from Ireland. Now, that might just be bullshit nationalism, but I don't know. However, Tato was the dominant brand in Ireland of potato crisp, and much like many other commonly used products that sort of inherit the brand name of the first company that made them big, in Kerry and in a lot of other counties in Ireland, it should be said, Tato literally means any crisps. You can have Walker's Tatoes, you can have Pringles Tatoes.
One brand became all brands.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. I think we have something similar in Croatia. They're called chippy chips.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're basically Tato's red packaging.
And that was a brand name, was it?
Sorry, that was a brand name. There's like one huge company in Zagreb that produces a lot of these like snacks, sweets, chocolates, those bomboniera, like what are they called? That you usually give as a gift for a birthday or for someone's wedding.
For Ferrero Rocher? Or?
No, like the praline boxes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They make a bunch of those, right? And one of their brands is a Tato brand or a crisps brand. It's called Chippy Chips. And it has this like authentic paprika flavor. And like all over the market for like 30, 40 years, maybe even longer. I don't know the history, but they're the dominant ones on like the whole Balkan area, basically.
And so all chips or crisps can be referred to as Chippy Chips.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's not on that level, but yeah, I think especially like 10 or 20 years back, like those would be the main ones on the market.
So in terms of the dominance of the market, Tato had. Yeah. There's more to the Tato story, kind of a weird link to the whole sectarian conflict in Northern Ireland. There is another company called Tato in Northern Ireland, and they make Tato crisps. And there is constant arguments back and forth over who actually originated cheese and onion flavor. Was it the Northern Tato or was it the Southern? And there's a commensurate argument that's still going on. Which one is tastier? Which, of course, is completely subjective. So it's clearly the Southern one.
I also know that the Tato company in the Republic of Ireland has a Tato Park, which is something like with roller coasters and like a Disneyland thing, right?
Yeah, I've never been there. It opened maybe 15 years ago, as far as I can recall. Bizarre concept to me that a crisp company runs a theme park, but yeah, apparently it's a thing.
To me, it was impressive. Like like building your own theme park based on like fair play.
And they've had a mascot which is like a anthropomorphic potato in a jacket and a hat. They've had this mascot, and the Northern Company has a very similar but different mascot as well. So they've had all of that for decades. So it's I suppose sort of pre-built mythology for them to build the theme park around. Very odd though.
I suppose for the brand and to drive profits, it's all right, cool. So now we've gone through everything Tato and crisps related.
Good luck summarizing that.
I'll just go chips, crisps, Tatos, and all of that, and we'll skip the Tato part for now. We might do like a whole episode on history and Tato culture and all of that another time.
When this episode gets edited down, it'll just be you saying Tato's and not me going, and then you doing the translation.
I don't think I'll edit anything, so
okay,
guys, sorry for this. Like we've gone off to a nice banter here. Okay, so Chips, ono što često čujete da je kod nas onaj chips od krumpira koje kupite u vrećicama, u Irskoj nije, nego je često vezan za fish and chips ili burger and chips, gdje dobite velike deblje krumpire uz glavno jelo koje naručite. I nisu toliko tanki kao oni french fries, ko što bi bili recimo oni iz McDonald'sa, oni tanki, jel? Znači crisps baš ovi debeli i to dobite uz većinu jela ovdje u Irskoj. Meni se čak dogodilo da sam i sa nekom tjesteninom to dobio. A oni za naše čipse kažu crisps i tatos su isti taj izraz, ali ovdje u ovim Kerry regiji. So I said that right. Tatos is in Kerry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And probably other counties as well, but not in Dublin anyway. I mean, the brand is there, but it is just a brand among many.
Yeah. So the official word would be crisps.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Znači, crisp je službena riječ za naše chips, okay, chippy chips. All right, cool. Let's go from snacks to drinks. What's the word slancha, written slinte?
Yeah, so that is a direct Irish word. It's a loan word in the English language, and it just means cheers in the traditional sense. Or what's the?
Živili.
I can't remember. Živili. Thank you.
Yes.
So it's literally that. It can occasionally be used as a greeting, but it's chiefly just used as a toast.
And the meaning is because in Croatian it's like to long life or live long or to good health or things like that.
I am very deficient in the Irish language itself, so don't quote me on this, but I think it means health.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Znači, slanča, ili ti ovo kako se piše slante, dolazi, to je na onom, that's a Gaelic word, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Although we never use the term Gaelic, we always call it the Irish language or the Irish language name for the Irish language, which is Gaelga. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Slancha.
Znači, oni to koriste isto kao što mi koristimo za živjeli i nije skroz siguran da li je to ispravno, kao što smo sad rekli ovo da je za uzdravlje, ali vrlo vjerojatno je i isto se koristi kod nas kao za živjeli ili za nazdraviti uspiće. All right, we got that down. Another one for drinks. I love this word. It sounds really like a spot-on word. It's called naggins.
Yeah, naggins. I know that there is a specific size definition. I really should have looked this up actually for what a naggin is, but it's like the almost hip flask sized drink bottles that you can buy in shops. Yeah, and that is a naggin. It's a particular word. I was surprised to see it in use by a Scottish person on Twitter the other day. So apparently it's not limited to Ireland.
Okay. We have a Croatian word for it that we usually associate with alcoholics drinking it on a park bench somewhere, and we call it bombice, but basically means small bombs.
Yeah. Naggins for me anyway, I don't know if this is generally the cultural interpretation, but for me, naggins I associate with college students, because when I was going to college, it was a case of you're going to do some pre-drinking. Oh, bugger, I don't have any naggins. I'm going to have to go down to the off license.
Yeah, let's buy some naggins. All right, cool. Yeah, pretty much the same. Znači, nagginsi su ono što bi mi rekli za te male bombice, one male bočice sa cugom što ekipa pije, obično alkos je onako u parku, ali znam da se ljudi često to kupe onako za prije nego što idu van da pije. Ja?
Right. I gotta say, I prefer the Croatian word. Bombica. Yeah? That's much better. Because naggins just makes me think of old female horses.
My first association was somebody nagging you.
Yeah, that too. It's like it's overall quite negative.
Okay, cool. So if you drink too many naggins, how would you describe that person?
Scuttered.
Scuttered.
Yeah, scuttered. Which I think comes from farming. Because cattle can suffer a very unpleasant digestive complaint called scutter, which makes a mess of the farmyard. Okay. So that's, I think, where that comes from. But yeah, you could call them, now there are so many words for drunkenness in Irish. I don't know which one you were aiming for, but scuttered was the one that came to mind. And it's not scuttered, it's scuttered. You have to get the TH in there.
Nice.
Or it doesn't have the same impact.
Okay.
But,
I was more aiming for he had a few.
Oh, right. Well, he had a few, yeah, at the very minimum. But yeah, he had a few is a very polite way of saying that he was drunk.
So it's more kind of avoiding the fact that the person was completely smashed, right? It's more like, exactly. Oh yeah, he just had a few.
Yeah. So what you're saying is he was scuttered. Yeah. What's the other one? Oh, come on. Slipping my mind now. Twisted.
Battered.
Not really. I mean, if you said it, the context would make clear what you meant. It's not a commonly used one. Twisted, scuttered, ossified. That's what I was trying to think of. Ossified. I have no idea where that comes from, but it means completely out of your mind drunk, you know, where you're staring into the middle distance and wobbling back and forth. Is ossified.
All right, let me explain he had a few first, and then I'll tell you
sorry.
a few funny ones that we have in Croatia. Znači, he had a few bi bio prijevod da kao, on ih je imao par, kao popio je samo par cuga, a zapravo je to neko ko se onako ubio od cuge, baš se uništio, i to je dosta pristojan način da se kaže za nekoga o kome se priča, da se užasno napio, ali da ga se ne osramoti kao. All right, so i scattered bi isto značilo onako kao kad se napio. Scattered. Da se previše se onako ubio, da je baš se uništio čovjek, jer povezano je sa farmerskim izrazom za kad se krave obole, jel, i bude onako nered, jel? Ali dobro, nećemo sad o tome, idemo se mi vratiti na ovo. So, I promised you a few ones from Croatia. We like to describe that we got drunk to our friends by being very creative about it.
So do we.
One of the ones that was always kind of super funny to me was like when you take off your shoes, we have a word for that. It's like izuo se. So he kind of unshoed himself. Yeah.
Nice.
That one was like.
So that's a word for, you know, if you're coming into someone else's house, you politely take off your shoes.
No.
But if you're absolutely rat-arsed is
rat-arsed. Okay.
Rat-arsed drunk. I don't know why, but rat-arsed. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So is there a polite version of say the word again?
Izuo se. He unshoed himself. He like took his shoes off. It's not that he took his shoes off. Like he unshoed. Like he drank so much that he kicked himself out of the shoes. Basically, no, something between those two. But yeah,
there's a parallel. Legless. Yeah, has no legs.
Makes sense.
Which is why the elf character in the Lord of the Rings was so amusing to me. Legolas.
Yeah. All right, cool. Next one, also related to drinking, schlagen pints.
Nice. Yeah, that's just a way of saying that you are in the process of very rapidly consuming numerous pints. Or that, you know, you can state that as your plan as well. You know, what will we do tonight? Go down the local, slug a few pints.
To me,
sounds like a plan.
To me, it calls up the association of a slug, like a snail, and then it's just like, you know, it's not a good association for me.
I understand that, but I think it's a loan word from Gaeilge. And slug maybe to suck to I was going to say hoover up.
We'll come to that later. Yeah. Okay, so schlagen pints or slagen pints as well, right?
Yeah, but schlagen sounds better.
Okay. To znači onako baš jako brzo potežete cuga, onako baš cuga se brzo I jako. Okay. Then
I think as well that the transformation of the S sound from a S to a sh is part of that Irish loanword thing, because in Irish, a lot of times that just happens automatically.
Is it in whole of Ireland or here in the Kerry region?
To be honest, I haven't heard it enough to know what the locality of that term is, but I'm pretty sure it's understood countrywide.
Okay. Kaže isto da često znaju ovako sa s pretvoriti u š, čisto zato da dodaju još onako malo naglaska na to. Okay, got it. Then there's the one that you said that you actually don't like, and it's a saying, happy out.
Well, I think before we move on from drinks, we should address the scoops.
Ah, yeah, we forgot about that one.
See, I'll do anything to avoid talking about happy out.
What are scoops? Scoops of ice cream?
Yeah, no, scoops are pints. So, yeah, it is kind of psychologically interesting that there are so many different words associated with drinking alcohol in Ireland. But I swear we're not drunk all the time.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah. Oh, yeah. Scoops. Scoops is a very kind of Dublin. In the late 90s, it kind of sprung up among the middle upper class sort of young business people. It would be typical to end a workday by just standing up and going, scoops, scoops. And the response would typically be scoops, scoops, scoops. Yeah.
Okay.
So cool. Scoops just means pints.
Yeah. Okay.
As if dipping into a barrel of ale, but
we're not using barrels that often now.
No.
So, yeah, unfortunately. Znači, scoops bi bila jedna riječ koja nije vezana za onako scoops of ice cream, nego je vezana za pivo, pints, znači neko bi to mogao reći kao idemo cugat ili idemo na pivu ili na piće nekakvo i kaže da se to počelo koristiti onako u uredima i na poslovima, kao nakon posla neko samo onako kaže kao scoops, kao cuga, idemo na cugu i to je onda to. The word for drink, to drink and drinking is a slang word in Croatian called cuga, and yeah, it's like cuga, yeah, cuga.
So, did you watch The Mandalorian?
Not yet.
You'll enjoy, I think, episode 2.
Okay, cool. I'll keep it in mind. I'll send you the feedback.
Cuga.
Star Wars alcoholic.
Yeah.
Was he happy out in The Mandalorian?
Very rarely, but yeah, for whatever reason, this particular phrase puts my teeth on edge. It just means very happy, and you can add out to pretty much anything, any kind of what is that? An adjective? Happy?
Yeah. No, it is. It is. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm 100% sure.
Grammar.
Yes. Languages.
Yeah, said the multilingual guy as if sympathizing. Anyway, yeah, happy out just means very happy, and out is a modifier that I thought exclusively Kerry people, but apparently other counties as well, and I've even heard Dubliners doing it now, to my absolute shock, horror, and disgust. But it's a modifier that you can add after an adjective instead of putting very before it. So but now the one exception is that tired out. That would have been a phrase that I'd have been familiar with and made perfect sense to me, that your energy was expended, you're tired out. But hungry out, that, what? How are you feeling? Would you like to eat? Yeah, I'm hungry out.
Okay.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, it drives me crazy. I really hate it.
I haven't heard the other two.
It makes me angry out.
Okay, got it. So, happy out jednostavno znači da je neko jako sretan i ovaj nastavak out se dodaje poslije, čisto da se to naglasi još i kaže da se može još koristiti ovo za vezano za ako je neko gladan ili žedan ili umoran, to da se riječ out na kraju i onda se kaže kao stvarno si jako gladan, žedan, umoran, šta li je već. Ja sam najčešće čuo tu riječ ovo za happy out, zato što to najčešće se bilo spomenulo. And I noticed one thing, Brendan, I say it out and you say it out.
Oh, really?
Happy out.
Huh.
Say
That's
it again.
surprised me. Out? Happy out?
Yeah, it's the subtle change, but I feel like I say it a plain and you say it with a little bit of a twist.
Interesting.
Happy out. More like that.
Your version of me sounds northern to me.
Yeah?
Sounds like Northern Irish, yeah. I'm not aware of any difference.
Yeah, I'm just trying to copy paste what I hear, and I'm sure that I mess it up. And I sometimes, for the first time when I meet an Irish person, I try to imitate an Irish accent, and then they're like looking at me, kind of like, "You're doing something wrong there." Like, and
I always find it really, really heartening when I hear you say something with an almost perfect Kerry intonation to it.
Yeah, I try. So my girlfriend has a lot more practice because she used to work in a hotel and she was in the reservations department. So she would get like 8 hours per day calls from people from all over Ireland. And then she would hear like a bunch of different accents. While I would, in the last few years, basically work in an office and talk to the German market, so I didn't use it, didn't get my ear that accustomed to it, and just to the Kerry accent while I was here. And she got to hear a lot of different areas. And she says that some of them are like really indistinguishable. And then she has colleagues in her office who are like locals. And then she's like, I really can't do it. It's like, can you help? And then the woman that lives here for like 40 years, she takes the headphones, talks to the person, and she finishes the call. And she's like, that was a really hard one. Like, I barely understood him myself.
Yeah.
And she said it's usually people from like far out in the countryside that have a really, really strong accent.
Yeah. Shortly after I moved to Kerry, I was in a pub and there was an old lad at the bar and he turned around to me, having overheard something I'd said to someone else, and he went, and I was like, I'm sorry. Could you speak a little more slowly?
And it didn't work.
Work. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I can't understand you.
Okay, guys, so as you can see, not only foreigners have trouble with the Irish accent, sometimes even people who are local struggle with it. But okay.
Yeah, this is the disclaimer I was making earlier that I, without wanting to blow my own trumpet too much, I think I'm a lot more understandable than some Irish people.
I have a theory that it's in reverse proportionate to the amount of drinks you have. So the more you drink, the easier it gets, really, after a few pints, it kind of gets easier, But okay. I guess the mind has a lot of barriers that kind of block everything out. But okay. Let's stop with the psychology there. Let's go back to the famous phrases.